If you want to see me swatch the palette that I've been most excited about this year, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and yes, I want to show you another swatches video, but this is a special video. I have gushed over this palette when I was able to get it from the Tarte website this year at a really great price, and I've been waiting for it to be on sale at a point where I could get it, and the stars have aligned this year and I was able to get it. Now, I have been salivating over this palette for 2 years. If you're not familiar with it, it is the Tarteist Pro from Tarte Cosmetics to be specific. And I have not touched it yet because I decided I was going to swatch it with you before I used it. And if you're not familiar with the palette, it has a full-size mirror and then 25 beautiful shadows organized in color stories from left to right all the way down. And I have wanted this palette ever since I've had the Tarteist Pro to go. The quality of the shadows in that palette made me believe that I would absolutely love this one. The Tarteist Pro to go has been in my top palettes videos very consistently. It is so good. Let me show you that one and then we'll get into this one. It's always right behind me at the ready. And I love this little palette, and it is available from Tarte. You can get it at Sephora or on the Tarte website. I really love this guy, and when I travel, it is usually with me. It is so tiny, it's like a deck of cards. No, actually half the size of a deck of cards, to be frank, as far as width goes, meaning the depth of the palette. It's so good, and I really hope that the Tarteist Pro palette is as good as well, hopefully better of an experience than this one, given the other one is 25 shadows. But anyway, I feel like my complement of Tarte shadows it's well-rounded now with this Tarteist Pro palette. And so what I want to share with you today is, because I've been so excited about this palette and I've been good, I haven't touched it, is I want to swatch it with you so that you can see my first reactions to this palette, and then at the end of the video say, you know, was it worth all the hype that I built up for myself for being so excited about hoping to eventually get this palette? So let's crack into it and start swatching, and let's see what happens. Okay, so here we are getting into the palette. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky, because I would love to do the color story from left to right, including the last one, but the problem is that would require 5 swatching fingers, and I don't have that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch 4, 4, 4, and 4, and then finish with this set at the very end. Pretty sure that's what I'm going to do. So let's go into the first row, which is very much neutrals, browns. I guess it's a warm row, right? A warm row, there's a cooler row right underneath. Okay, so let's do this warm row first. We've got classic. Oh, they're so buttery. Ooh, we got classic, we've got innocent, whimsy. They feel so good. And smoked. Smoked is gritty. That's the only one that's gritty so far. So here we go. So I'm going to forget the names here. Classic. Oh, so smooth. And so my skin tone. Innocent. Whimsy. That's a nice one. And smoked. Oh boy. Wow, that is pigmentation right there. Oh boy. And it's always ugly when you swatch with the pinky. Okay, not unusual for mattes to need to do a double swatch, and here are the fingers. That black was gritty, but it sure picked up on the finger. Wow. And there will be no more Tarte logo by the time I'm done with the second go. Okay, here we go. Second go at these, and I have to be careful with the first one. It was classic. This is innocent. Whimsy. Oof, much better. And smoked. Now that is a black. I love that. That is such a good color right there. Okay, strong start and fingers. Okay, I am happy with this first set of swatches. And that black is really hanging on to my finger. By the way, if you're curious about this look, it is my second impressions video for the Elizabeth Arden Holiday 2019 Blockbuster set. I'll put the video right here for you if you're curious. Okay, so we've got the first row done, and you'll see I massacred the first row here, and we're going to go now into this second row. And we have a very just off-white color. And we have a gray color, almost with a bit of a taupe. A dusty rose color. And another gritty, deep color. But they're definitely cooler than the first row. So we have Vintage. Barely visible in my skin tone. Holy cow. Fierce. No Filter. And Vamp. Well, Smoky and Vamp sure have the right names because they are very deep colors. Okay, and again, they are mattes. I'm not surprised to have to go back and build them. Vintage has some sheen to it. Do you see that? That's interesting. Let's see how it builds up on the second swatch. Gosh, these are so soft. So soft. And that has been my experience with Tarte shadows, so I'm not surprised, but I'm just delighted that it's the same experience. Okay, it's showing up a little bit more on the second go, that vintage color. And then we've got Fierce. Again, much better on the second go. And this one is No Filter. Yeah, all the mattes build up quite nicely. And then Vamp. Okay, we've got 2 sets so far, and I'm hoping I have enough arm for 2 more sets. Here are the fingers. I think I'm going to do a third set here, and then we'll do 2 sets on this arm. Okay, so the next set is a berry line of shadows. So I'm really happy with that. There really aren't any sort of theme repeats, which is nice. Okay, so the dusty rose kind of color is a little bit gritty. Well, not dusty, berry color, I should say. And then the mauve is gritty as well. Okay, so we're ready to go. Okay, so here is Chic. Profesh. That one's disappointing. Mod. And Drama. The deep colors sure have an interesting set of names, right? We've got Smoky, Vamp, and Drama. And here are the fingers. Huh. Drama looks funny. The residue looks funny on my finger, but finger residue is not what would necessarily show up on the eye, so I'm not going to fuss over it. So let's get our second set of swatches on. Okay, so we've got Chic, Profesh, better, but it's still kind of a sheer color. Mod, which I'm hoping is going to be more true to pen. Oh yeah, the second go goes really well for Mod. And this one we had Drama. Oh yeah, okay. Good, well the deep colors are sure deep. So they are very distinct sets of 4 shadows, so that is good. And here are the fingers on the second go of the third set. And we're going to switch arms, but at least I'll be able to show you both forearms at the end so we can see all the swatches all together. So we are going with this final row down here for the mattes. So we have Indie, Bold, Edgy, and Punk. So Indie, oh, the first one shows up, go figure. Bold, Edgy, yep, that's Edgy, and Punk. Whoa, that's a black. I love the fact that there are some really deep shades in here. I mean, they really show up very, very nicely. That is a great set of 4 shadows if you want an all matte look that has a nice amount of depth if you're into the warm tones. So that's really nice. I'm really happy with that. Let's go in a second time. Okay, so we've got the fingers there. Let's go in a second time. So we've got Indie, Bold, Edgy, oh yeah, and Punk. Punk is a little bit cooler of a black than I would expect for a black in with these other 3, but it's deep enough that it would just work fine. I mean, you'd end up mixing a little bit of brown and black, I'm guessing, just in if you're trying to blend. But yeah, they're good. That's another good set. So far, all of the mattes, I'm really happy with the quads of those mattes for each one of the color stories. Very, very happy. And here are the fingers one last time for the 4th set of 4. And you're seeing my dry fingers. So now we only have those 4 round pans to do. So we are going to do these 4 right here on the second forearm. So we've got Ethereal, oh boy, do these feel good. Ethereal, Glam, Minx, and Trendy. All right, so we've got Ethereal, Glam, Minx, and Trendy. Yeah, and that one, everybody knows at this point that it's a duochrome. It's funny, it's not swatching as well as I thought it would. Okay, so we are going to go in for a second pass of these. And Trendy, you know, it's with the pinky, and the pinky sometimes is not that generous to the swatching color that it's assigned to, so I think Trendy will benefit from a second go at these. Ethereal. Glam. Minx. Oh, this is so much better on the second go. Minx is looking good. And then we've got Trendy. Let's see how it does. Oh, much better. Much better on the second pass. Okay. All right, I am very, very happy with these. All right, so we've got this forearm, and let's just superimpose the first one. And let's see what we think of these as a whole. What do you think? I'm sure you've seen these swatches before. This palette has been around for a long time. But I just like how, well, it's the same thing as the Tarteist Pro to Go. Everything in that 6-pan palette works with everything else. And what I see with this set of shadows is that the mattes, there is variety, but they're also extremely functional. You can practically pair any color with any other color. I don't think that there are many opportunities to clash. So and I feel like there's enough color that you can do a deep look, you can do a light look, you can amp it up, you can, you know, kind of tone it down. There are lots of deep colors to use as liner. You can go cool, you can go neutral, you can go warm. It just feels like there's a lot to this palette, despite the fact that it's not a super, super colorful palette. But if you want color, there are definite options to do so, to use a fair amount of color. If I look at the palette and I tell you what, I'm just wiping my fingers off. If I look at the palette and I tell you what do I think are my favorites, I would have to say that this row right here and this row right here are the two that had me the most interested. Probably because it's been so predictable for me to be going for some of these colors, although since 2 years ago, I've really expanded my horizons, so to speak, but I can definitely go into a Stila or a Cleona or something like that to complement this palette, but I won't take anything away from it by saying it is a standalone. It has everything in it that you need to build a very solid look, from toned down to amped up. There's nothing missing in here. It would just be a preference to have a specific additional color in a given day, but I know that I could use this palette for a month, no question, and come up with 28 to 31 looks, depending on which month I choose. I really am convinced of that. I also know that I like the formulas in the Tarteist Pro series. So the Tarteist Pro to Go gave me a good idea of the fact that I would really like this formula, which I do. So yeah, that is my point of view when it comes to this Tarteist Pro palette. It was a long time coming, but I'm glad the time is here. And for me, the swatches did not disappoint. So let me know what you think of the swatches, the colors. Do you have this palette? Is it a palette that's been of interest to you? Yes, no, maybe? I'd just be curious to hear what you have to say in the comments. And I mean, because it's been out for, I think, 3 years now, I've only wanted it for 2, but it's been out for 3 years now. If you have some go-to color combos that you think are the bomb, I would love to hear what you would suggest that I try first. So yeah, I'm excited to start using this palette. I'm sure you can tell. I'm sure I've been gushing this whole video, but I thank you for your time. Thanks for humoring me and my swatches of an old palette, but it is what it is. It's new to me, and in my little world, that's what's counting for me with this palette. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.